What do we got going on here?
I'm moving everything out of the shipping container and I'm just storing stuff up off the ground by using these magnet hooks that I got off of Amazon, which is actually super helpful for a shipping container because then you don't have to drill into the walls.
Old shelf system. You're gonna make a new one, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually do wood framing walls and take out all of these cinder blocks.
And now that we have our neighbor's planer, we can use that wood again, even if it's dirty. Pop-up shanty to house all our stuff that's typically in the shipping container.
I started cutting a whole bunch of studs for the wall to frame, and our DeWalt battery-powered circular saw keeps overheating, so the batteries are shutting off and saying, give me a break. So I have to...
Because you've been using it too much? This is the first time that's happened.
It's like super hot. It's because I'm doing super long rips that I should be using a table saw for, but we don't have one, so I have to do the circular saw. So I had cut a whole bunch of studs, and I still have a few more boards I got to cut down and make more studs out of. But while I give that a break, I'm just going to reposition all the studs out of my way and make a nice flat area out here that I can build the wall. You get a good angle where you can see all the studs nicely.
I only see one stud.
Ooh, this is tight. That must mean it's racking that way. What?
Wow, what a beautiful transformation. Show me what you did. Walk me through the
Sure.
new build.
Yeah, it's still not done yet. I'm like working on it as we're working on everything else here. So just trying to get stuff done as I can. Today I was working on trying to sand down this table. I actually put wood filler in earlier.
Ooh,
So
wow,
now
that's very
nice and
smooth.
We don't have a jointer or a table saw, so I couldn't figure out how to make this seam nice. So
Well, where would we put it? This is the closest thing we have to a workshop.
I mean, it would go somewhere in here. We would just have to wheel it out, like the miter saw gets wheeled out. But yeah, this is the workbench. It's an 8-foot long workbench that I'm still working on and still putting together the wall that houses all the stuff that you would need at a workbench. But like, this is all the normal tools you would use on a daily basis, like screwdrivers and hammers. Here's all the fasteners and drills and router bits and stuff you would use to use the fasteners. So all the like handy stuff are at the workbench.
So why did you put in these supports?
I went ahead and framed up the studs so that way I can do stuff like put up shelving and mount stuff to the wall up high without having to have it come far away from the metal walls themselves. So for example here where we have our like lawn equipment that can't be stored outside because they're all electronics, I have it nice and mounted onto these studs right here. And otherwise I would have had to build some kind of thing that is freestanding and takes up space on the ground, and this just allows me to take up more space on the wall and up high instead.
And then you got all this extra storage here, and you made this on wheels so that you could actually move it.
Yeah, so this tote storage I just found on YouTube. Another woodworker posted his plans to his storage, but I just took his plans and made it to where it was on wheels because since we're in a tight storage container, the way storage is gonna, be in here, it might evolve over time, and we might not want this right here. A lot of this stuff is going into the house when the house is ready, and it won't be sitting here, which means those totes can just roll back this way and give us more space over there.
It's also nice to have this workbench because we don't have that much space to actually like work on stuff. We're always out on the picnic table or on the bench table that we got outside the RV.
Right. This is a nice covered area to work in, but it's not insulated, and the sun hits this wall right here, and the paint on the outside of the shipping container is dark. So right now, since it's 98 degrees, in here.
Wow.
It was 107 earlier.
It doesn't actually feel that hot unless I'm just used to it, maybe.
Well, I have the fan going on underneath that you're probably getting hit with, and this is probably reading a temperature closer to this wall. And
Okay.
when you stand back away from the wall, it's not going to be as hot.
Yeah, it's definitely we had some nice kind of fall feeling weather, but we're back into the, well, we used to call it an Indian summer. I guess that's probably not politically
I've never heard
correct. Maybe it's a northeastern thing, but they call it. We had a false fall, and now we're back into second summer or something here in Tennessee. I like the drink fridge, and then of course when my parents come and they like to camp, well at least my dad does, so they need a little space to make their kind of kitchenette, so they'll have their stove top sort of thing, whatever it's called, the little griddle to make their breakfast. And so this would be a little space for them. They can still hang out in here. And then you made these shelves, which things are much more organized now with these shelves compared to just piled back in here.
Yeah, before everything was just piled up on each other, and if you needed something from down low, you had to move all the stuff from up top off of it, and then grab the stuff down low, and then move it back. And right up until the point before I actually decided, like, I've had enough and it was time to organize it, there was barely a walkway down the middle. Everything was just piled back in here.
Yeah.
So now we have a whole bunch of usable space back here. The bottom, these like two bottom shelves right here are the sturdiest, and these are lighter load shelves.
And so you actually put the sturdier supports in here. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you can kind of see these pieces of OSB, these triangle pieces, help give it a lot of that rigidity. This is actually something I learned from your dad. All of these supports, which are I think 16 inches on center, have those triangle pieces, and it's these two shelves down here. Up here, they don't have it, so this is lighter stuff, like your guitar.
And your piano will be able to bring the old band back together once we get the house built.
Yeah, these things that we want to store in here is a good reason why we probably should eventually insulate this and make it temperature controlled, so that way the heat doesn't get to, or the cold, doesn't get to some of that stuff in like our batteries for the grills and how
it's the batteries to me. We didn't build a whole lot of storage into the house, but we got some. Those loft spaces and a few closets, but yeah, it would be nice to just be able to keep the batteries out here.
And this is where the tools live.
Yeah.
So.
Especially with all of we have everything electric. We got all the Ego electric stuff, and the batteries are the most expensive part, so we don't want that to be
degrade.
Yeah.
Faster than it should.
Put some metal strapping on the back there, I see, to hold it, to keep it from racking. So it's actually like some nice structural stuff for the walls.
All shipping containers, I'm pretty sure standard, comes with metal joists underneath the wood, and then they just lay the wood on top. So if you look under shipping containers, you'll see the underside of this wood floor in between all the joists. So the framed walls, I just screwed in a few spots down to the floor. And then they're not actually connected to the metal walls at all. They are kind of leaning against it. And at the top, I have put, I don't know what this is called, like a joist that runs from one side of the shipping container to the other. And so the tops of these walls are tied to each other so that way they can't fall inward. I was going to put it all the way through, but the walls are pretty good as they are, so I don't even know if I need to put in more of these.
You spent a few weeks out here doing this and organizing everything, which is time well spent. You know, we're going a little slower on the house because of it, but it's better. It's so hard to find the tools sometimes to uncover them if it's disorganized, and things are just so much more organized now.
Yeah, now I find it way easier to just find what I need, get it, and use it to go work on the house now. Whereas before, it was like, I didn't really know where certain tools needed work. So that's like sped us up a lot. I didn't like work like 100% full-time committed to the shipping container build. It was more like I had a few hours here and there, and so it took over the course of what was a few weeks, because I didn't like spend my full attention working on this. Plus, I probably would have gotten burnt out because it took me like 3 afternoons of just moving all the stuff out of here in a way that it would be protected from the weather. I didn't even get to move every single thing I wanted out of here because there were certain things that I was afraid was going to get ruined, like electronics, like the TV. So I had to build out the shipping container with stuff still back here, just moving around. So if you look down inside here, I just cut small pieces of plywood and I just screwed them into the studs, and those are my supports for my shelves. So this guy, which is a pretty tight fit, he went in nicely. Just sits on that shelf. What I want to do is put those support plywoods, screw them in at equal spaces all throughout here, so that I can create a whole bunch of these shelves out of plywood, so it's going to be thinner, and I can cut into the plywood to be able to create custom hangers for, I don't know, like the chisels or those all the different like accessories and stuff that I need for my drills and routers. So it'll be modular, so I can have, you know, like a shelf right here, but if I don't want it right here, I could just take